So how are you? Greetings friends. My name's Danny. Welcome. So here we are in sunny Far North Queensland, Australia. I'm going to do a couple of videos and just want to say hello to everybody out there and people all over the world. If you're watching this, I hope it's good, like some good news that you might be able to understand what's going on in the world, because you know the things that are happening in the world, we just it's complex for a lot of people, you know, but there's truth in the matter, and the truth is that the truth hurts. It cuts through one's heart, runs through one's soul, like through one's bone to the marrow. Like it just cuts deep. The only way you're going to know the truth is if you find out what's been lying to you, or who's been lying to you, or how have you been lied to. How? Okay, I'm an educated person. There's lots of educated people out there that are, you know, gotten degrees and doctrines and universities all over the world, and they call themselves archaeologists, and there's people that study the stars. Like, you know, there's a place over in the United States, you probably all know it, an ASA or something like that. Yeah, well, they're always putting up computer generated imagery for people to watch and see of, you know, supposedly a rover driving around on Mars, and man's been to the moon, and you know, the human race is set for the stars. You know, we're going to get out there and, you know, colonize. Nothing could be farther from the truth, like, honestly. So here I am. I'm in my hometown of Kuranda. I've lived in Kuranda it's in Far North Queensland, up near Cairns, but Kuranda's up in the mountains, sort of ranges, right on the edge of what they call the Atherton Tablelands. And you can probably look at it Google Earth, you know, and I'll get up top soon and we'll have a look, and you could probably Google it on Street View on Google. But just remember, a lot of this stuff is all computer generated imagery, and they've driven cars around and stuff. So I'm getting out of my car, which is an old 1992 model Ford Laser, under a mango tree at the moment, and being parked on there is constantly dropping stuff at the moment. So there's mango trees all over town, but Kuranda's one of those sort of towns that is like, I'm going to put some sunnies on, so excuse me, it's bright out here. Kuranda's one of those towns that's like, you know, rich in biodiversity, they say, and there's so much plant life around, and you can hear all the birds, like they're just going crazy all over the place. There's hundreds of different like species of bird that live here. We've got the cassowary, which is endangered. You'll see scrub turkeys come out from just out of the bush. There's houses sort of like in there, you know, that little box of land. We're surrounded by banana trees, little banana trees around here. Hundreds of them. And just at the base of the banana trees over here, we got some wild raspberry, big mango tree. You know, like there's lots of things that you can do. And there's the old Laser over there. She's been good. She's been a good car, yeah. So yeah, Kuranda's like my hometown. My mother, she knew a lady who founded a shop not far out of town near an Aboriginal community called Kurowa, and she found the shop back in the 1980s, and at the time we were living in Sydney, and we would come up on, you know, the long school break at the end of the year here in Australia. Starts somewhere in late December and goes right through till late January, which we call the school holidays. And I used to get away to Kuranda and escape like the city hustle and bustle. It's always been there. I was born in Sydney. My parents immigrated from Croatia back in the 1960s. They're not together though, they're separate. My father came, I'm not exactly sure how, and my mother came when after she was pushed on a boat by her mother to go over to Australia or America. They couldn't read English, so she got pushed on the boat that's going to go to Australia. 17 years of age, didn't know anybody, spoke Croatian, lots of Croatians on the boat, sailed off to Australia. On the way she meets a man, he says he's going to marry her, he cons her into sleeping. They have my sister, she's about 3 or 4 years older than me, and they end up she ends up getting off the boat, not knowing she was pregnant, but couldn't find this guy, he left her, anyway. Or they might have got married, when they got to Australia. I'm not 100% sure, my mother never really spoke about it. Yeah, we should escape the city, and come up here, and in Kuranda we go swimming down at the river, and that's a place I'll take you out there and we'll show you that. But we could swim out there, and the river would flood to get heavy torrential rains up here, cyclones, coming off the coast over Cape York Peninsula. And yeah, lots of rain, and the river floods, and we should float down in rubber tractor tubes, it used to be great fun. And as I got older, by the time I was 20, my mother had died from complications after a car accident in 1977, and I was 20 at the time when she died. She was only 41, and we were living in a suburb outside of Sydney called Merrylands. Spent a bit of teenage time there, high school, Parramatta High School. Big shout out to everyone from Parramatta High. Hey, I haven't got all these friends of me on Facebook. Maybe after this you might be friends, you might not be friends. But we'll hope that we become friends and talk more, and as we go through, these I don't know how many videos I'm going to do. I'm going to try and do as many as I can, because I think if more people knew what was going on in the world, they'd have a better understanding, and then there would be a lot of relief and peace in their life, and then what comes after that is going to be something unbelievable to some people, and to other people it's just going to be tears of joy and happiness and singing and big feast, huge, huge. It's going to be like something else. Anyway, here we are in Kuranda, and beautiful around. Plants everywhere, there's birds everywhere. I left Sydney when my mother died, and I was like about 20 years of age. Come to Kuranda, and stayed at a friend's place. Then as time passed, we were started renting together, me and a mate, and we'd do all these things together, and it used to be great fun. Just closing the door. This is what they call my father's house, and what I want to do is talk to you about you don't know the truth unless you're first shown or told what is the lie that's been keeping you hostage, holding your mind hostage. Now, I personally wanted to break free of this hostage situation, because when I seen something for the first time, I thought to myself, this can't be real, this is impossible. So I had to have a look for myself, and what I found out was it was true. And what do you do once you are aware of the truth? You can't go back to the lie. It's like living in the Matrix, as they say. There's a glitch in the Matrix, and there's some weird shit happening in the world, no doubt about it. There is some demonic shit happening in the world, and people think it's fun. Or, oh, look at that. Don't sleep that night. The boogeyman's gonna get you. And there's all these myths and beliefs and all these unexplained mysteries, and we just like, oh, how do we know? Well, I'm telling you something, it can all be explained. It's all like there, like it's written down in the pages of history. It's written down in the pages of the Bible. It's written down in the pages of great men. Like, just the things that we can do, like, and you know, they say all these things, and it's just like, what? Are you serious? Like, is that real? Like, what did I just see? I'll tell you, like, and there's all this like alien shit in the world as well, and you think to yourself, well, are there aliens? Are there aliens in the world? Are we alone in the universe? Well, the answer is no, we are not alone in the universe. There are other beings that exist. And what is an alien? Well, if you want to try and determine exactly what it is, an alien to me is a being from another planet or dimension, right? It's the only thing it can be. Especially if it's like not of Earth, it's extraterrestrial. It comes from outside of Earth. Okay, so you see all these things happening in the world, and you think to yourself, is that real? And these people think that I've been abducted, and yeah, you've been abducted, all right. Okay, so the way I see it, and the way I'm going to start it, right, is that there's truth, and then there's a lie. You're either on the side of truth, or you're on the side of error, or the lie, right? Truth in itself is intolerant of error. No matter how much people try and say, oh, this is that and this is that, and it's millions of years old and billions of years old and millions of light years away, and I'm sorry, but these people are only thinking like four-dimensionally, length, width, breadth, time, maybe, But here's the catch, okay? And I'm not crazy. I'm thankful that I consider myself actually quite sane. And in saying that, right, this is my question out there to all you skeptics and non-believers. If there's a God, all-seeing, all-knowing, all-powerful God out there, then surely, absolutely surely, he has the ability to be living outside of the timeline and can look at the world presently, in the past, and in the future at the exact same second in his dimension. Now, in his dimension, there is no time, okay? He's existed for thousands, millions, maybe years already, right? But at some point, he's sort of said, hey, look, and now he's talking to other beings, okay? He says to them, let us make man in our image. So let us make a being that looks like us, only he's going to have the immortality of us, be able to live forever. And not only that, I am going to be there with him every step of the way so that he can look after all the other things that I've created, which is the earth, the sea, and all of it therein. Okay? And then now on the other side, on the lie side, there's this entity on earth that has received its power, its seat, like a throne, and great authority from Now get this is the catch here. From a being in God's reality, right, who was cast out, thrown out in heaven after a war broke out in which he convinced a third of the angels to fight as well. Unfortunately, they were outnumbered because he had a third and God had 2/3. And he was cast out, and his tail, like his thighs, a third of the angels fell with him onto earth. So yes, there are beings on earth that hate you, and they want nothing more than to see you burn and die terribly after painful sores and tormentation and fire and brimstone and blood, water that's like blood, and like there's just going to be people in the world that you think times are bad now. There's some times coming very, very rapidly that will just turn people crazy, and because lawlessness, just like the things that will be happening in the world will abound. The love of many people to God will wax cold. I think there's no God. Look at what's happening in the world. Yeah, well, if you can see what's happening in the world, then there's an antidote, a remedy for it. But unfortunately, where we live in time, we're at the end of it, and the pages of history are coming to a close, and the pages of the Bible are coming to a new. And if you read the Bible, which is like the basic instructions before leaving Earth, if you read that, it's very hard to read for people for the first time. You look at it and there's beasts, and there's like these weird sort of animals and figures and all these things, or like dreams. Are they dreams? Like, no, just God showing a particular person something and then tells them to write it down, and write it down as I sort of say it to you, and they do it.